Hello guys, this is my video on hello guys, this is my video on the endocrine system. There's a lot to go through, so we'll see how much I'm gonna go through in one video, but basically they're going to create things called hormones, and hormones, they're going to go out throughout your body and they do different things, and they know where to go or act because of a receptor. And they are what gets your body to do stuff. And so, like, let's see. They're also called, they are chemical messengers from the site of secretion to the target cells. And so there are three kinds of hormones that exist. So there's, if I draw the chart, there's three kinds. There's amines, there's peptides, and steroids. So these are the three kinds of hormones that you'll see. You don't really need to care about the structure, but they are in my notes, so they kind of matter, I guess. So derivatives of tyrosine. These are amino acids, and these are cholesterol. And so it's hydrophobic, while these two are hydrophilic. And that's pretty important, because if they're hydrophilic, the receptor is on the membrane. And whereas for the steroids, the receptor is inside the cell. And to get into the blood, you have to, these can travel into the blood and just go in straight onto the membrane, right? Blood goes into blood easy. So these two easily go into the blood as well. However, the steroids, they need a binding protein to then go into the blood. So let me extend this line. So if we extend this line, we're going to have examples of amines, right? And some examples are dopamine, where you have amine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and the thyroid hormone. But with the thyroid hormone, this is an exception. And in the case that it does not act like a normal peptide, it acts slightly differently, where the receptor is intracellular and it requires a binding protein because of that. Alright, now next we're going to look at peptides. Some examples include insulin, glucagon, PTH, or parathyroid hormone, calcitonin, and really all pituitary hormones. Pituitary hormones. And then as for steroids, there's aldosterone, testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, and yeah, these are the examples of steroids. So that's my first page of notes. And let's see. So a part of the endocrine system is gonna be the pituitary. The pituitary. So the pituitary is split into two parts, where there's the posterior and the anterior. The anterior and posterior. And so these secrete different hormones. And so what matters is that the posterior pituitary gland is connected to the hypothalamus by nerves, and that this is connected by blood. So what does it mean? So if I'm going to draw like a little brain here, a little brain, it sucks, but it works. So like somewhere over here, right, is going to be the hypothalamus, and downwards from the hypothalamus is going to be somewhere maybe around like your trachea, I think, somewhere around your neck, and it's going to look kind of like this. Look kind of like I'll draw like a butterfly. Kind of like this, where this is the posterior, is the anterior, right? And so again, if we look here, it's connected by nerves, and so that's going to be important. So let's just draw it as it's connected by nerves, kind of like a leaf. Whereas this one is connected by blood vessels, and that's also important. So the posterior and anterior part are separate. They do their own thing, and I'll show you some more differences as we continue. And so the posterior produces two main hormones. and well, they don't really produce it, they release it. Releases two main hormones, and the hormones here are made by the hypothalamus. The hormones here are made by the hypothalamus, whereas on this side there's a lot more, a higher number, a lot more. And this is why the anterior pituitary is why we have, this is going to be a long section. And that additionally, it is the hormones are made inside of it. And so you see here that, like, that's why it's important that this is connected by nerves, because it's going to connect to the hypothalamus and going to make it send out, right? But the anterior pituitary, all it really just needs is like the connection to the blood, and it's just already going to send out the stuff. What the hypothalamus does, I'm pretty sure, is it just tells it to make stuff and then it'll release. And so that's why it's important, because they do different things, right? And so we can actually breeze through the pituitary, the posterior pituitary hormones. They're actually pretty easy. Here. And I think from how long this is already, I'm just gonna separate it into other videos. But so we're just gonna do the posterior pituitary in this one, and all the anterior pituitary and the other hormones in the next video. And so there's two main hormones. There's oxytocin and there's vasopressin. Vasopressin. So I guess a good way to remember it is POV, posterior pituitary, oxytocin, vasopressin. I guess it's a cool way to remember it. And so what oxytocin does is the love hormone. And this is the love hormone. Bonding, pair bonding, maternal love, and this controls labor contractions. And another thing it does is it promotes milk ejection. And you're going to see this is going to matter for the next video when I talk about prolactin, which is milk creation. And so don't mix these up. Just remember that oxytocin is milk ejection. And so the next one is vasopressin. Vasopressin, or also known as ADH. It is the water retention hormone. And so this is a negative feedback loop. It causes a negative feedback loop. So if you are dehydrated, it tells your body to create more vasopressin. So you have more vasopressin, which means you retain more water. Right? And there's a negative feedback loop because your body is creating a signal to counteract another, a condition that you have, right? Other things as it can do is can help increase blood pressure and smooth muscle constriction. And yeah, so this is my quick video. It's not a quick video, but this is my lecture on the endocrine system, the hormones, and the posterior pituitary gland. In the next video, we're going to talk about the anterior pituitary gland. Yep. Thank you for watching.